Ready. Wasn't born ready, but I got ready a little short time after that. Hey, there I am on the screen. Good day. Welcome to the show. Look at my hair is all fucking askew.
It's ready.
I ask you, is my hair okay? Welcome to the show. I'm Marijuana Man. This is From Under the Influence. And I try to be here every Wednesday afternoon at this time, or shortly thereafterwards, for another cannabis experience. I'm joined by Anil, who is flipping the switches and spinning the dials, keeping it live. So welcome to the show. I hope everybody's day is going good. It's a sunny yet windy day here in Vancouver. The supermoon is done. Thank Christ. Like it's just too bright. Everything's a supermoon now. Never heard of one my whole life till 3 years ago.
I think the moon's pretty super as is. I think every moon. Like it's like, what else do you have to do? I gave you the moon. Not super enough for you?
Yeah.
Fucking how many moons do you need?
Oh, we must have a supermoon. And it's just like a outer space thing that's going on that we don't participate in at all, or it's just a nice tradition. But this is when you live in an apartment complex somewhere, a box above a box. But in ancient times, I guess the moon and its seasonal journey meant much more to the people then than it does today. They could plot their lives around it, for God's sakes. They knew so much about the sky, it's embarrassing to me what we know comparatively. That's how they could build pyramids that lined up to constellations, or have things shine through holes, because they knew, and everybody knew, even children knew, that star would be there. So, I don't know. I kind of like it. But it was the worm moon, super worm moon.
Worm moon.
Is what it was called here, or what they said. I don't know. I suppose some animals weren't canvassed to see if they'd participate. Like the moose moon, it could be a grizzly moon. Bears are about to wake up. I don't know. You don't want to give the grizzlies their own day.
They need a day to wake up. You should. It's a good idea if you've seen a hibernating bear to give them at least a day.
All you do is sleep. So yes, the world continues to go berserk, or at least on Facebook. I'm not too sure if they're actually going. It's very difficult for me now to believe anything I see.
Yeah, a lot of things do. Yeah, it's such a what a time.
Well, it's just a weird loop that they're working us into here with the internet. And I don't know, I guess we've all gone willingly to dance to their algorithm. Eh? We seem all to be okay with that, which is an interesting acceptance. Feed me only things that A, you want to feed me, and B, you think I'll like, and nothing else. No, well, you're actually I looked at the chat. That's why I went blank.
I apologize. Facebook's changed
See
the
what-
layout.
see what the chat does. We're back on YouTube, apparently. Thanks, Chris.
There we go.
Something Chris did 20 years ago got us booted off YouTube somehow. But we're back.
See, no Facebook chat. I can't see.
So yeah, the world's going fucking nuts. If I'm to believe anything that I read. I don't know. I blame the internet for it all. Everybody fucking made going viral a popular thing.
Everybody wants to be an
Influencer. So stop trying to get things to go viral, would you? It's working.
Congratulations. You did it.
There is a well-known saying in the world, be careful what you wish for. And I have a fantastic relationship with the universe, or my guardian angel, or however that works. But I've learned to be very specific. You go, oh, I got what I wanted, but I didn't expect this bag of cats to come with it. So, yeah, it's crazy out there. I don't know. I suspect. I'm fairly confident that cannabis is our savior and will keep us healthy. We can withstand anything. Now, apparently, Cannabis was canceled. Big celebration in Spain because of the virus. Italy's closed. Well, I don't laugh. I don't take it lightly. What I do see, though, is a lot of people making fun of it, right? And you go, wow, like, if in fact people are dying, that ain't funny. I don't think there's room for jokes. Too soon, is what they say.
I'd like to go out laughing, though.
Yeah, but not laughing at somebody else's peril.
What if you die laughing at someone else's peril? That might be funny in and of itself.
Well, there will be no reprisal.
Yeah,
right, so.
That'll be like, oh, someone will just wipe their hands and be like, oh, look this stuff out.
So it's a little weird how the social media just gloms on to things like this and don't give a fuck that they're saying and posting things that are, kind of insensitive. Right? Now, I appreciate making fun of people doing stupid things, but dying ain't one of them, maybe, but... And they're clearing out the shelves of hand sanitizer and toilet paper. Yeah, I get the hand sanitizer. There you go, like, really? How did that happen? How did everybody glom onto the idea that they should stock up on fucking toilet paper? What a crazy thing it is. And, fucking running out and clearing the shelves, and you go, well, wait a second. This leaves me with none. So, if you're going to get the virus, you're going to get it from me, because I don't have those things. You bought it all and are hoarding it. You won't, thank Christ, you won't give it to me, because you got all the hand sanitizer. All right. And then, then I see a story that yesterday that people who went out and bought huge amounts of toilet paper are now reselling it on Craigslist. Are you fucking kidding me?
Meeting someone at their house to buy there's secondhand toilet paper, that strikes me as a recipe to get sick.
That
If you
is...
want to get sick,
It's the end of
put that on your
humanity.
list.
It's for these very reasons that aliens have not contacted us. They go, are you kidding me? What's the fucking point with these humans? They're insane.
Well, at least they're washing their hands.
Well, you know, doesn't hurt. Yeah, there's something to be said, too, about going out and eating a handful of dirt every now and then. Keep your defenses sharp. We have become a kind of a weak bunch over the years, trying to protect ourselves from absolutely everything by slathering shit all over ourselves, thinking that that's going to help. But, you know, people come up to me and they're all, well, I don't know what to do. What should I do? I don't know. This virus. I'm going, you know, the best thing to do would be just to stop breathing.
Oh, yeah. 2 minutes.
If more people would just stop breathing.
Done and done.
But potentially, I try to see the upside of everything. That some kid in grade 8 is going to invent something at the science fair that will replace toilet paper. Huh.
They've had bidets for quite some time. People used to laugh. They used to say,
Not in fucking North America.
well, that's what I mean.
It's the only place. Oh, God. So, I don't know. I'm not too sure. It's having its effect on many things around the world. Either by the fear of it or the actuality of it. A lot of fucking stuff is going on. But then you wonder, at the same time, what's going on over there that we're not looking at? What else is going on? So I don't know. It's sad that that I've come to the point where I just don't know what to believe anymore. Right?
Yeah, especially if this is a legitimate
And I don't.
version.
And I'm not talking about just this subject. It raises into question every subject. So, not that I see every subject because of my algorithm. My algorithm. I notice my algorithm on my Facebook page has so many booze ads that I can't believe it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going-
I click the, this does not apply to me, but I think they just spend so much money on that.
Doesn't
They
matter.
just keep giving it to me, and I'm like, I don't.
So,
This is not a thing for me.
how's the algorithm working for you?
Oh, it's great.
Right?
It's collecting all that money. It's working out great.
You get ads for fucking Oreo cookies. Nobody, I never, well, I've said it now out loud, but no, it's a funny thing. And I don't know, the social media gives a wide-ranging forum for everybody to express their opinion about it and their fear or lack of, or one way or another. And at the end of the day, it just adds constantly to the confusion. So, I don't know. I've been around for a long time, and I've heard of a lot of things coming at me that was destined to wipe me out. None of which, I don't know if any of them were that science saved me from. So, I don't know. But there's not much I can do about it. If I was a scientist, I'd be doing something. I'd try to do something, but I don't know what
Getting
else.
out of there.
What else
My
to
science
do?
would be running away. That's what science do you study? Getting out of here.
Yeah. So, I hope that everybody stay safe and to consume much more cannabis, just as much as you can, is a good way to stay healthy, I believe. I like to go out to the airport too and lick people getting off international flights.
I've just been doing the baggage.
keep my-
I guess the people would be much better.
Yeah. Anybody coming in from Turkey? Excuse me, are you from Turkey? So, yeah, I don't know. I was brought up as a kid totally defenseless, I guess. I was not slathered with stuff to protect me from the world. And I don't know how it all works anyway, so I try not to trouble my brain too much about things that I don't know anything about. Kind of saves time for
Try to keep it as blank as possible.
having fun. Well, I don't know anything about this virus or any of the details of any of the facts that people have put out or statements they've made. So, the fuck do I know?
It's always changing. Numbers always different. No one can agree on it. No one ever cites the numbers, but the numbers are always changing.
I don't question it because I don't really know. What do I know? And why why should I trouble myself about it?
I think all you're going to know if you get it is that you get it and you've got the flu, and then it's just the experience of that, and anything outside of that is just the experience of your experience.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Smoking a joint. That's what I can say. Feel okay. So far, so good.
Rory in the chat asked me why turkey.
Why turkey?
Yeah.
Because chicken is not.
Yeah.
It's just not an option.
And turkey was on the lick list.
Oh, well, turkey was on the
Sorry, you
list.
gotta make a list.
I heard there were no cases in Saskatchewan. Now that may be wrong. I'm just saying. That's something I heard. Everything comes in so fast. It could be true or not true at the same time.
Well,
But that's what I heard.
200 below zero there.
Yeah, and there you go. So,
Nothing lives.
but still shortages. And I thought there's nothing. Just maybe an extra shovel. Would
No, I don't. I don't know. I just keep moving. What can you do? Take it with a grain of salt. You don't. I don't know. Like I say, I can't do anything about it. So why would I? Should I make a stand? Really, on such weighty measures. I hope it's
take
something that doesn't amount to as much as they're crying that it's going to. I'm not too sure what I think about projection of, it's just fucking math. Okay, don't rely on these people to say that, 60% of the people in fucking New Rochelle are going to get infected.
Well, I guess that's the issue is that constant. So if math always has to have that constant, then you have to assume the constant into the projection.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily advertise it.
Projection can only be based on which constants. What if,
You're constantly making shit up to write stories on the fucking interwebs is what they're doing. Like, there's so many stories that, fucking near anybody can write them.
training robots to write them.
They've got a specific
read
point of
like
view that they want to present. All of these web pages that I run across, they all have a very specific way they're coming at it. And that comes from the top, and that's what gets written, and that's what gets published. And you certainly see with cannabis, it's such an enormous array of articles being written about it from any perspective that somebody with a keyboard can think of. How can I figure out an angle to write an article about cannabis? Because it's popular. And it's an open market. And the people who are going to buy the article from me in this case don't have a fucking clue about cannabis. So they don't question anything that they write, or they write from the point of view that they've been asked to. So it's just a lot of nonsense. Leafly right now has got fucking 5 things going on about it's always the 5 strains of cannabis if you like spicy. The 5 strains of cannabis if you like floral. Which, when you look at it, like it isn't. They never fulfill what their fucking headline is anyway, but how floral is pink kush, for fuck's sakes? Any reason they can think of to write about cannabis.
If buds or flowers, isn't all cannabis floral? Scent of it?
No, quite frankly. Only to us. We've only perhaps promoted it in that direction because that's what we like. I don't know. All of the aromas of cannabis are designed to keep shit away from it. That's why it does it. Right? Keep bugs away, keep herbivores away. This smells like shit to them.
Yeah, is that true of other flowers as well? Like, I wonder, like a daisy, attracts one thing, but
no, they're designed. Well, depends on what attacks it. I saw a thing one time about a type of tobacco plant that, when it became attacked by a certain caterpillar, it changed its fucking pheromones to attract a bug something that would kill those predators. So, I don't know, but cannabis, essentially, those aromas are designed as a defense, not as an attraction. It's not used to attract insects. And it's very alcoholic, if you will. The smell of cannabis that's fuming off is really phenols escaping from the trichome head that create that aroma. And, as a tiny little bug or any kind of bug comes flying towards that, they would run into a barrier of this very highly alcoholic thing going on as it's getting closer and closer to the bud. So, no, that's a warning. But we have come certainly to appreciate the warning of cannabis. Wow, that shit's got a really loud warning.
What's that?
The plant is here, like really. The plant is here long time before us, and we merely have capitalized upon its presence. That's kind of all we've done. We haven't changed it intrinsically to be another kind of thing. So we raised this plant indoor for a very long time, which eliminates the threat of bugs. It has eliminated the threat of the sun. It's eliminated as many threats as we can possibly eliminate. Now, I guess the intensity of what we've been using for grow lights is strong enough to be threatening, enough to create the defenses that we would like to have in our rolling paper. But hey, that's just cannabis. I've looked at cannabis very closely from its point of view, and it's fascinating. And it's quite different than a lot of the things that we think that it is. And it does and will do. But we are humans with egos. And we think that we are the masters of the universe and mistresses. Is that the similarity or the same thing, master and mistress? Or
well, it all
You
depends
wanna be
on the
fair.
mistress.
you want to be fair?
It all depends on the mistress.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's many a mistress that is master.
Semantics. Well, so what the fuck? Nobody gives a shit about cannabis here in legal cannabis. This is the unfortunate thing. It's an odd thing to me that they've come up with in this industry and a method of presenting it to me which surely looks like they don't care. What a weird way to do business, right? Overtly. Would I read a headline today that the state of Illinois is selling $1 million of cannabis, legal cannabis, every day? And the next headline right under it was, Illinois out of weed. Illinois has a weed shortage. They're tracking it under a fucking super microscope. Well, it's reported that Brampton has got a third request for a cannabis store. Not one other store. The news does not carry a story about any other store being opened except cannabis. That it's somehow newsworthy that another cannabis store. Why is that? Why would it be newsworthy?
Because to people,
They don't-
secretly exciting.
I don't get it.
Super,
It makes
super rude. Yeah, if it was any other store, you would never.
not
never
not a
hear
liquor
about it.
store, not a supermarket, not anything, not a fucking gas station. Nothing.
Well,
No, they
gas
don't say,
station,
you
that
know,
would
there's
be
gonna
like-
be another
you wanna know
gas station
where that
in
would be?
fucking Burlington. It's another application for a gas station. So we're gonna have a town hall meeting, and the whole fucking world can come in and help us ban the gas station. No, not in any industry, for fuck's sakes. It's pretty straightforward and easy. Certainly the city wants to make things difficult for everyone. It's difficult for all small business here in Vancouver. Oh my God. The vacancy rate is fucking astronomical out there when it comes to the retail world. They just can't afford the rent. The rents are fucking nuts for retail because of the fucking inflated market value of the property. Gross. It's tough being a renter. It's funny, renting a house or a accommodation from anybody is not the same as doing business with your mechanic, right? Where over time, if I'm a good customer and I pay and cause no trouble, quite often the business I'm doing business with over the years will give me a discount, or at least treat me nice, not charge me more. Generally, like it happens with rental accommodation. Here, I don't know, in British Columbia, they have the right to increase your rent fucking 4% every year. But then every year, the city imposes a higher tax on them, higher property tax, that actually I end up covering. So the homeowner doesn't care that their property taxes increase because they have always been able to pass it on to the tenant. Which ain't nothing in it for me. I don't get anything out of the deal except pay more money. I don't get a better anything. Nobody comes in and paints. Nobody fucking says, hey, let me fix up the yard or whatever you got, right? It's an odd relationship that we're forced into with these people who wouldn't possibly think of it in those terms. Huh. And it's, the largest amount of money you got to pay out every month, generally. It's fucked. So, we have cannabis.
With minimal or almost no supervision, people can arrange themselves with their blankets, etc., on a beach, pretty much any beach anywhere. It works out, pretty well. It's an easy thing to manage. I don't see why most shelter couldn't be the same way, given that we have more shelter than we have people
It's
to
greed.
occupy.
Absolute and total greed. Just follow the money. Right? It's all about money, money, money. Everything's about money. So, what the fuck? Not everything. But the legal cannabis industry is, if you will give that segue, Canopy Growth shutting down 2 giant greenhouses out here in BC. And quite laughably, the way they come at it, it's they had these 2 greenhouses, and one in Delta and one in, I don't know how big they were. They must be fucking enormous.
I don't know the number off the top of my head. I read that it was close to half of Canopy's total production. So whatever that means, but I don't know what their square. I don't know the count.
So they laid off how many people?
500.
500 people.
Total.
All of which were imported immigrants? I
I
don't think
if
so.
that was, I don't know if you could
Some.
say all. I don't
But at they're like minimum wage they were paying. What?
It still seems crazy that it would be. I don't understand how it makes more sense to have someone come that far to still work for minimum wage. And the idea is.
Well, minimum wage here is fucking
But-
fortune wherever they're brought
I
from.
still don't. There's no solution. There's no you think about there's
Well-
no local solution to this problem. None.
Well,
Every
it's a
single person that-
perfectly
none?
legal thing
None?
for them
how
to
many
do.
people would- yeah, I don't know.
I have no issue with
Oh,
I have no issue with bringing people from another country to do that.
Yeah, neither
have
do I.
None whatsoever.
But it just
There's plenty.
seems like,
There's
I don't
plenty for everybody. But the way they treat them, at the end of the day, you go,
Well,
wow.
that's odd. You get a bit of that, and I'm not saying that they were mistreated intentionally or something by Canopy. I don't understand that, but I don't understand that practice as a whole.
Well,
it
they
doesn't-
certainly
it doesn't
were-
make sense to build-
They certainly were mistreated
Yeah, we'll see how
intentionally
situations-
because there was no need to either A, having employed them in the first place, or couldn't find a fucking way to keep them employed in any way in your whole operation, you fucking pirates. They just used these greenhouses and they paid $400 million. That's what the outlay for these greenhouses are. And go, oh my God, that's a lot of money. 400 million for 2 greenhouses in fucking BC, which they use that as potential when they're in the stock market. The stock market scam of 2019. They use that as potential production. Yeah. Took money that they'd earned on what their production was before, bought those 2 things, never stating that they were going to put $400 million into it. but then began to sell more stock and gather more money based on this new potential. Right? That's how it all went for all of them. It's all based on potential. So now they announce they're shutting those down. You go like, what? You're not even going to put pot in your potential? Like, really? After you sold that to these poor saps that invested in your company? What? I'd be questioning that so fucking hard if I was anyone that lost money in that nonsense. Now, of course, they no doubt found that it's really fucking hard to grow cannabis in a greenhouse in Delta. Let alone one that must be the size of football fields. I don't know. I don't know how big that is. I didn't see what their million square footage that they were contending that it brought to them. I couldn't find that information, but $400 million they spent. Now, I went online and I hunted down commercial greenhouses for sale, and there was some fucking like 30-acre models with all the gear. Certainly not for cannabis, but at any rate, a working greenhouse. $5 million. Like, $5 million. So, like, even if you bought 10 of those, how much is that? $50 million. It's not 400 or 200 each. It's not $200 million. When are you going to... The refit cost you $150 million? Holy fuck. I would like to know where the money went myself. Wonder who got the $400 million. And how come they paid so much? But at any rate, they couldn't grow any weed. It's all fucking moldy, as one would expect. What? So now, they've decreased their potential by shutting those two down, which represented 50% of their potential? Is that what it...
I mean,
It's complicated numbers the way they presented it.
someone told me the other day that they had a ton of money in the bank, but I was also told, and what I've read is that they don't have more than 6 or 8 months of operating capital at their current expenses. Now, I don't know what they saved, supposedly closing those greenhouses, but it still seems like just like massive upkeep and all these store deals.
Well,
I don't know. Like, it would be a good time to get back to basics and basics.
Well, they don't even know what basics are.
Better shot to the roots.
So,
All this nonsense, like literally, like the drones were gonna fly in and pluck the buds out. All the lobbying, like I don't.
they
like,
don't.
this
They
is
don't have
like,
a clue how to
ugh,
do it.
Black market. You know they fucking paid for so much of that. Well,
But-
maybe not them specifically, but someone certainly these talking points like. Watch
Oh, no, it was all
news.
bullshit.
It's just the estate story, and it's so frustrating. If you were worried about people getting sick, that you would have people deceive you for health-related issue for 100 years, and now, oh man, you really got to listen to me about this. Well, fucking wolf.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
I don't mean to detract.
You know what he means. But, no, they go further in their explanation of their decision to do this by suggesting that it will help with the oversupply and will keep the prices high. And you go like, what? Even the Hells Angels wouldn't admit that out loud.
Well,
Like they-
wasn't the issue that it didn't work when the factory leaves showed up in the 80s under different management?
Having not enough weed keeps the prices high, doesn't it? Especially if you've got a forced market, right? The people are expected to come and buy it from you, is what it's all based on. It's an interesting, crazy setup they got going on. So, I don't know. They They don't want to grow the weed. So now the CEO, Dave, of Canopy Growth, he comes out of Constellation Brands after Constellation invested $5 billion. Invested, gave them $5 billion, and then Canopy Growth turned around with a report of fucking hundreds of millions of dollars of losses. They brought it.
I always thought that was a strange investment, because even if you wanted to make a cannabis beverage, like I wouldn't have partnered the way.
No, they got
I
Constellation Brands got
maybe-
suckered. They got suckered for their fucking money, and they saw it right away and brought in their own guy,
Yeah,
Dave Klein.
I think Constellation still has some, a lot of links.
Oh,
to
they
ownership in
fucking
place.
doesn't.
But
They have a 30 fucking more percentage interest in Canopy, and now they bring in their own guy who only knows the booze industry, has no clue of cannabis. So he announces that part of the reason why it was getting tough to do, they never admitted that they couldn't fucking grow weed, but everybody out here knows that that's the case, because we know people who worked there. Right? They grew mold, is what they grew, time after time. But they also cited the competition with outdoor wheat. And they were going to concentrate more on growing outdoor weed. You go, like, really? Do you even fucking know who wants to buy your stuff? Do you care? Because they don't. They don't care. They just see Constellation Brands. If they do know anything about cannabis, they know that they're just growing it for oil to put in their fucking beverages. That's all they know. So they don't care where it comes from. So nothing in it for the cannabis flower consumer yet. Nobody's coming along to woo us into their burgeoning industry. So I don't know. They're having their financial woes based on many things, but I think from my point of view as a consumer, that they just haven't come up with the goods. They just pick and choose what they want from the black market, right? And they think that based on the black market, that outdoor weed is a good way to go. I don't know. Who thinks they're going to sell very much bud compared to anybody who's growing indoor? No, I want the best fucking indoor I've ever had. Cheaper than I've ever seen. I think that's fair to expect from this new industry. But they're not headed that way at all. And their weed's not been that good. So that's fairly frustrating for the consumer.
Certainly not worth the prison. That's the thing I started.
Yeah. And prohibition hasn't ended.
Someone is
That's
still
all.
in a fucking box for this smoke. Oh man, I can't wait to try this 8-pack safety seal thing. Scared of it. Like that. Like, but I wish everybody well, and I hope everyone works towards the best for all. Cause it's
Well, the best thing that could have ever happened was to end prohibition. If they ended prohibition, none of this would be
and that would
even
I
a
think that would
thing.
be very good for them as businesses too. Like this would be a chance. Like if I wanted, if someone tomorrow said to me, "I want you to run Canopy," my focus would be on ending prohibition, because the only way to really do what needs to be done, especially if, I think that
No, it's all
standing in the way
silenced.
is silly.
Right.
If you have
They
industrial
know.
size and a refinement capability, that would be completely unlocked if everything was open. But not
Well.
before then.
Yeah, it's it's certainly coming at it from that point of view. So, now there's many challenges ahead to get ahead in cannabis. We really didn't get too much out of this last exercise. And I think, they've had long enough with their cute little experiment with their cannabis industry, but fuck off. Right? So, I'm not too sure how the retailers are actually doing.
Some are doing better than others, although it's
It's a captive audience.
in any retail
right?
situation like that control of supply chain, it's such a hard.
But I haven't heard any moaning and groaning from anybody saying, hey, this is fucked, we're all losing money.
Tea shop wouldn't have to do that.
So that'd be good. It's embarrassing how they have to present themselves as something that is not a cannabis store.
Yeah, that fear. It's gotta be
Not much
something
culture being preserved there. But yeah, we do have a culture for sure. I've heard Jody speak of it and write about it many times, and it's absolutely true.
I would say if
Cannabis,
there's more
it's-
songs about ganja than roses, that's an evidence of culture.
Well, is that true?
How? Put them up. Let's
Well,
figure it out.
put 'em
I don't
up.
know. You got what?
Okay, well, there's
you put it. Where are they all?
it's probably
I
true.
bet it's true.
It's a
Prove me
very
wrong.
popular form of music.
Oh, yeah.
And
It has its own genre. What's the rose genre? Like, give me a break. Yeah, absolutely. And that's just music.
Well.
Yeah, so I'd say, yeah, culture. Yeah,
we had a long time to develop this
thousands
because
of
we were
years, yeah, I think so.
we were under oppression forever. So people do quite often who are under oppression for their whole lives do create a subculture to satisfy their desire to have cannabis. And I don't know. Bong shops and all that stuff, right? It kept it alive. So those were, I don't know, legal, illegal, some are legal, I don't know. But they survived and continued to develop a culture around it, the practice of how we smoke and how we gather and the nuances of all of it and the plants that have been developed under that umbrella. The culture of cannabis. Right? So there's no denying that we exist, for fuck's sakes, except under legalization. No, that's against the law. Culture is against the law. It is. These people who have signed the waiver to get into the legal industry have signed the waiver that says you cannot celebrate. You cannot talk about its therapeutic value. You can't in any way display cannabis.
Yeah, they wanted you to forget. You couldn't even know it. This company that you couldn't even learn the thing about, you know what? They laid off 500 people.
No, they sat around getting drunk one night, the government, and went, we could hide it. We could just fucking slap it away. And that's what they've done, is just trying to hide cannabis from the world. They wanted to take it away from us because we weren't hiding it. We were celebrating it. And they wanted to take it away and hide it. So they do. That's how they've come at this, is to, you have to cover the windows. You have to not have any display. There could be no cannabis leaves displayed. Right? Can't look at the cannabis except in a little sneeze box. Which I don't want to go near, if that's what every face. But at any rate, packaged, prepackaged, it hasn't even been seen by the people who work in the shop, except for the little bit in the sneeze box. I don't know where that comes from. they potentially have to buy it themselves. If they did, oh my God. And I'll bet they do. Gotta buy it themselves from the fucking and display it for them. What? So, kind of a unusual way to treat the culture, if you will. It was, I don't know, there was nothing else that could have been obvious to them about people and cannabis. Even if they looked at it 10 years ago, which they did not. Well, they didn't ever. They did not look out to see what was going on with the people and cannabis. They wanted to take it away and lock it up. That's what they done. That's all I can see. And they wanted to get a bunch of money. So, they set it all at prohibition prices because we were going to be forced to go and buy their weed. And they knew somehow. They took a look and went, hey, those people will pay anything for cannabis. Because we did and have our whole lives. Only simply because we were forced to. In an illegal market where there was no reprise or much competition. The price is pretty well adopted in the black market for everyone. Nobody really tried to get real.
It's a shame also because keeping those grows open for some type of research. I don't know. Even with a few people, you could rotate things, and man, the things you could do. I don't know. Things could always grow. Why not?
Well, I don't know.
Why does people
It's a very cannabis has
so
just
much?
become such a complicated issue. It's so complicated because there's so many interests, right? I guess I don't know why it's so complicated, but
Scary. Why so scary? It's just like
well, it depends on who you talk to. But there's medicinal and recreational and legal.
Is this roller coaster appealing to children?
No, it's just a shield that they use. They don't care about kids at all. It's only they say it to get their way. To be able to lock up cannabis and hide it away. Right? And for no other reason than what? Because they fucking hate it. And they can. At that moment they can do that. And that's what they choose to do. They could have chosen any path they wanted. But they chose this one. Huh. I don't know. I find it fairly questionable, given the example that they had. No, it's been legalized for doctors and cops, politicians. That's pretty much it. They got their way. Politicians, they didn't have too much to say. They didn't give a shit. They were just connected.
Why don't we ever seem happy?
Because they're fucking evil. They've got hellhounds on their trail. Hopefully. I don't know how you walk around with a good conscience.
Maybe that's it. It's like being a hound running.
I don't know. Everybody has a conscience to fucking deal with, huh?
I just think if you got a hound, just let him run somewhere. Like a hound can still run, but it shouldn't like.
They'll catch up with them.
That's the thing. Yeah, there's enough in place where you for a hound dog. A hound dog is cannabis. So what happens with a hound dog?
So interesting. There's some people, here in Gibson's that had a infused edible shop and perhaps more. Do they have cannabis? I don't know.
Yeah, I saw
They
some,
sold cannabis too? I can't remember. The S&M sweet
Yeah.
shop.
Yes, the S&M Sweet Shop. I don't know enough about the motion specifically, but I did see a post saying that it was.
Well, they got raided some time ago by this
it was
CS
legal action against the
community safety unit they invented here in British Columbia to supersede our right federally. Really is what it is. And this is so these people have filed in Supreme Court here a challenge based on that notion that CSU here is this funny little police force they created to enforce cannabis
safety,
legalization
community
is what they're
safety
doing.
unit
They're enforcing legalization. So
for safety.
they go around and fucking raid all the dispensaries that are open and take all their stuff.
Safe.
Yeah. So without a warrant, which
You're safe
Yeah.
from a warrant.
we're entitled to. We're entitled to a search warrant and a few other rules too, based on our fucking rights here. Section 8, I think somebody quoted. There's 2 sections that these people in Gibson's and I don't have their names in front of me. I've met them numbers of times and they're wonderful people. And I'm glad that they're doing this
Doug and Michelle.
because, yes, that's right, Doug and Michelle. So, yeah, that's what we need to do. And I think they're probably in the right.
Fighting the right 100%. How can somebody walk in and steal all your stuff with no warrant and then say, "Oh, I'll send you a list of what I took later. This is from the government, kinda. I'm gonna shake you down for a fine. There's not really a way to appeal. If you appeal to me, and I'm not gonna talk about the fact that the whole thing is medical." Like,
No, the
what
government
is-
quite often.
So gross.
The government's
So
really not very
gross.
good at coming up with shit right, somehow. They're either crooked or stupid or a little bit of both,
Where's the toilet paper
right?
patrol?
Where
I don't-
they don't really check
this is
to
nonsense.
think, like in the meetings when you come up with these things and you go, we're going to give you mandate with no warrant to go and do this and to engage other police forces that always have to get a warrant to do what we're going to do. The Vancouver police come along for the ride, or the local RCMP come along for the ride while they're taking your weed. Because they don't have a warrant, they can't do anything, which is just a weird fucking scenario here, the use of the police force, how the province gets to fucking wield this kind of injustice. So anyway, they're being challenged based on the fact that they don't have warrants and that we are totally entitled to that.
I also don't understand who they say they're enacting the law on behalf of, because if they're enforcing the Cannabis Act, that's federal law, not provincial.
Well.
If they're enforcing the Provincial Cannabis Act, then who's paying for the CSU?
Well, there's no information to be found about how much money they're given or anything about them, really. Which is quite typical. No, it's all about the police. They've become very good over my lifetime at diving into the cannabis prohibition trough as hard as they can. They've figured out how to spread it fast and large under the auspices of keeping your kids safe. Wow, how fucking immoral is that? Over a plant that's never even hurt a kid. Haven't heard of a kid in my whole life that's ever been hurt by cannabis. Have you? Not even a kid. What the fuck? So all this effort that they're spending, keeping the children safe from this substance that there's no evidence that's ever hurt them.
Yeah, it has to be such a.
You go like, really? Shut up. Fuck off with this. Stop
Even
it.
Still, like there are like infant cases where they're given high doses of cannabis because of,
No, there's no
issues
evidence
at
whatsoever.
birth,
I've never
and
heard of
they-
any.
It helps them. Like I don't. Like it's such a It just.
Have you ever? I don't know. I'm not trying to make light of this.
It can be
Fucking.
strong,
I've not heard of
100%,
any
but-
child that's been hurt. Well, frightened maybe because of the reaction that they had, but that's about it. What? You go, okay, well, you shouldn't have strayed into the adult world because your parents didn't teach you not to do that. Because they don't teach kids that anymore.
Well,
Not
the
to
best way
stray
teach
into
your
the
kids
adult
about
world.
Poison ivy is to show them poison ivy. So
Well, yeah, but that's different.
What's this? What's this jar? This like.
We're adults and
What's
we
a
have
jar?
shit. We
How
have.
am I supposed to explain that? Sorry.
But-
What's a jar?
As an adult, you have stuff going on that has nothing to do with kids, and kids shouldn't be anywhere near it. Instead of explaining everything to them while they're kids, what? We no longer tell the kids to get the fuck out of here. This ain't
My
for
only
you.
policy. It's the only
Hey.
thing I say to children.
Hey, this isn't for kids. Get out of here. Go on, get
No,
out. Go
turn around.
outside and
Get outta here.
play.
No.
Go play
Don't even
video
turn
games.
now. Go away.
But at any rate, cannabis has never hurt any of them anyway. What? No proof. Nobody seems to need to have any proof when they say that they're protecting us, our kids, from this. You go, this is a massive, inappropriate use of taxpayers' money. To even come at it from this point of view. It'd be cheaper. But, you know. I hope they win that case. And if they play their cards right, they should, but can't trust the courts too much. They're kind of... Maybe the change of legalization that it's a real thing now. It's not just this thing that you can do and say anything you want about. I get tired of that. Stigmatization of cannabis has exploded in our society.
Yeah, as long as there's still arrest, there's still stigma. No arrest, no stigma. Because then who cares?
Well,
Then it's
everybody's
like,
getting a
"What if
say
it
in
smells
it."
like garlic.
Yeah, but everybody's getting a say. It's going all down the fucking line. Federal government hands it over to the provincial government, who hand it out to the fucking landlords association, and they hand it out to the cops, and then they hand it out to fucking... That all whittles down to your employer now has to know all about it, and your insurance company is abandoning you because of it, because they can. That's what insurance companies do. Look for ways to abandon you. That's the insurance. Is that they will do that. So, I don't know. It's kind of a crazy bit. It's going on all over the place. All across the United States, any place that's even sniffing around legalization are just going berserk about how to do it. And then, right? And have no idea. Not even ready. Illinois, what the headline said, is selling $1 million worth of cannabis every day. Next did I say that already? Next headline says, Illinois is running out of weed. But, and the enormous amount of taxes that they're reaping off of it for no fucking reasonable reason whatsoever. Cannabis has not threatened anybody. It's not caused any mayhem. It's done nothing.
Which is too bad,
To
because a sensible cannabis tax would be a
anybody
great chest.
anywhere. Huh?
Because it would just, a sensible cannabis tax would be a good chest. Like if people could just grow fields, it would be a more reliable source of income. And you
Should
could
be no
actually better
fucking
gauge
tax on it
the type
whatsoever.
Of, public administration that you would be facilitating with that tax. It'd be
No.
better for everybody, I think.
No tax. I say no tax. You get your sales tax at whatever fucking level you get sales
Yeah,
tax,
that's
and
where it
then
would be.
fuck off. You shouldn't get any other money. Cannabis doesn't owe you anything. And nor do the people who consume it. Why the fuck are you taxing me on this plant? Plant has no danger, it shows no danger to me or anyone else, and I gotta pay. Right? You go, fuck you. Like, why is this? People just, we accept this too easily. I guess we're kind of helpless to do anything about it.
Yeah, I accept the sales
But
tax
we-
as keeping the
There
neighborhood.
should be nothing different than a sales tax. That's it. Just like fruit. Doesn't hurt anyone. And lots of fucking things that do.
Or if
Don't
it
pay
does,
tax on it.
you can figure it
Right? So
out.
that this is just nonsense.
Yeah, instead of your doctor saying, "Oh, I don't know anything about cannabis," he should be giving you some weed as an allergy test to make sure
No.
the cannabis won't hurt you. Here you go. Let me just give you some weed. You tell me
No.
if you're allergic to it.
Get the doctors the fuck out of it.
Stressed.
You
out of
doctors
line.
go home when it comes to
Smoke is let me know how you
cannabis.
feel.
No, I'm tired of listening to doctors. If you look up the fucking legal industry, it is chock full of them too. There's doctors coming out of fucking everywhere to be involved in this. Recreational cannabis is what they're getting on board with. You go, what? Wait a second. Thought you doctors are all against it all this time, and now... So, interestingly enough, how loaded up it is with doctors, whom I don't care what their opinion is at all about it. They know nothing. They just want to keep getting more research money. Big pool of that for them. Everybody wants to know more about cannabis. Gotta know everything. I must know everything. I'm not too sure people actually do. But that world thinks so. So they're finding new things every day about cannabis. The most laughable one is this THCP, or whatever they're calling it, that they keep claiming is 30 times stronger than THC. You go, well, wait a second. My cannabis is only so strong. So what, if it's coming from the THCP... It really means that you were wrong about the THC. But they don't say that. They insinuate that that weed, like this is stronger than what you're smoking, because they found this thing.
Well, there you well.
Right, but how could it be? This is only as strong as your cannabis
so
is
that
strong.
Was the thing you were supposed to be worried about the whole
Doesn't
time.
matter.
They also have a strain for it too. Whenever they say there's this one's bad, it's never like
Test
you'd
hay
think
in
they wouldn't figure- they wouldn't be like, hey,
THCP.
this is like
No, there'll be
This
some.
is
There's
no
somebody
good.
out there right now
this
trying to
one
figure
is
that out.
crazy. So careful. It's simple. It's like a roller coaster.
They will be trying to figure out how to incorporate that into their corporate program.
Well, they do already.
So I don't know where it's all headed here, but they seem a little. See, they're just so reluctant to look in this direction, right? The obvious direction to look in when it comes to a real cannabis industry, and how the people who enjoy cannabis for all sorts of reasons would treat it. They treat it like this. A jar of weed, a bag of weed on the counter, fucking, you got weed for sale, let me have a look at it. And, oh, that smells nice. I don't have to touch it. Right, I'm not going to touch it. I can go to a fucking supermarket and touch everything that you're going to buy ahead of you in the line. I could figure out how to do that. No one cares, right? No matter what you're going to do with that fucking... So people don't touch it, even. And that solves everything. That solves all the problems right there, is that I don't touch it. Well, I can look at it, I can smell it, see how glistening it is, look at the quality of the buds in the jar that I'm going to be served from.
They don't always bring it up, but I've never been to a grocery store where if you just ask someone, like, can I open this? They would always open any food product, because the whole conceit of the grocery store is, look at all this food. Like, whatever it is, they will open it there for you, and I would do it all the time.
Well, they
Use that
refuse
word
to
to
treat it
grocery
like
store.
cannabis because they don't know anything about it and refuse to find out anything about it. Because the only place they can find out anything about it is to ask us. And they don't want to hear what we know.
Because how's all that crazy not being scared
Doesn't
of the jazz?
help
All
fit
that
the
no prison
agenda.
Jazz. All
So-
that jazz music.
Interestingly enough. So, carry on. I like smoking weed. And I think it's
Jazzy
very,
Joe Biden.
I think it's very healthy. So,
Jazzy Joe Biden.
we'll hope to that everybody in the world doesn't get the flu. I don't know. Flu season's just about over.
You know what? I just, people grab toilet paper. They don't grab fresh fruits and vegetables. Things that keep you healthy. I don't know. It seems like,
Wow.
yeah, I don't know. Live your life.
Well, and the world becomes awash with that fucking scenario too, which is really weird. How we're all so quick to glom on to the latest thing that's out there, and right, and so now it's all about toilet paper everywhere. It's a joke, meme,
But it'll
a
also
video,
be, but also weird
toilet
that,
paper, right? You go,
yeah.
wow, like
And
it's
then a lot
just
of
this-
people just be sitting on a lot of toilet paper. Yeah, that's really, someone.
and then
else
that'll
is
go away completely.
Yeah.
And then there'll be no more. It'll be on to the very next thing, that is the big thing.
I wonder if some weird disruptor will, I don't know, hemp toilet paper. Now is maybe the time.
Well, duh. Something, whatever, but like, this is not going to save anything.
I don't know. It's the solution, maybe. Maybe that ends up being really bad for toilet paper companies, worse than they thought this was. Oh no!
I
they
must
love it.
have
People
toilet
are buying it.
paper.
Oh.
Well, I didn't. So if I come to your house,
I always have a few rules. Like, why would you not just? I said, if you can, you should just always. You should have some soup if you can.
well,
you
I
should
went
just
down to
always have
London
some soup.
Drugs
Good
down here
idea.
today.
It's pantry if you want to.
London Drugs had tons.
Yeah, it's so uneven too. So uneven.
And no
I
one,
saw
the place was
tons of them.
packed too, people, long lineups. Nobody was buying toilet paper.
Running out.
No-
Armloads.
No, there was there was piles of it along the aisle.
Nothing.
Nothing, nobody. And,
And you think in a more populous area, people would be more crazy.
well, I don't know, it may be an overgeneralization, but it's also the poorest neighborhood in Canada, right where the London Drugs is down here in the downtown east side.
Well, then it's a good thing they.
So maybe their clientele isn't
hoarding toilet
isn't
paper.
hoarding
It's
toilet paper, it's
hoarding
just
toilet paper.
just everyone else. So I don't know.
Not enough toilet paper, and these guys have toilet paper to hoard before.
Thanks,
Good.
everyone, for
Good
not sharing.
Food. Wow.
Not that I went and ran out.
You know what also makes people who are sick feel worse? As I understand it, making them feel bad, treating them like they have the plague.
Making fun
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, go out. Oh, get away from me. I feel the sniffle.
Any other kind of flu, somebody said, hey, I got the flu. And people generally don't make fun of you. Oh, stay away from me. I don't want the flu. And they go, that's hilarious. I'm going to make a meme about it. Wanting to stay away from you because you got the flu.
Sure, someone might have cracked that one, but make another one.
But I've been here to witness a lot of comings and goings of flus.
Yeah, it's been.
That didn't amount to
few-
much.
Yeah, but they never said it was this crazy. Did they? I don't really know. I didn't. Never really been all about the.
Well, we didn't have the internet either. They said that they wanted to say on a much tinier scale. And they still say what they want to say. Now it's just lost in the confusion of the internet. Is it true, isn't it? Is it true, isn't it? I don't know. All right. People.
How fast could you whip up fear if you wanted to
Oh, pretty
incite
quickly, I would think. If
mistrust
you're fucking
in the government?
wagging the dog, if you will, they can easily be perpetrating all of this. Most, like, how many people would actually physically, like, no, I don't. I have not seen it. I'm not questioning any of it, but I quite honestly haven't seen anybody.
Regardless of who I see, I'm going to try to be.
It's just written words and headlines,
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
don't know.
Is there video of this going on?
Well, but see, how do you watch a video of someone having the flu? Like, I guess you need to watch a time lapse. of the
Well,
person
wouldn't you
sneezing
have
for a
video of the
while.
fucking hospitals being full of people?
But you can't film them, I guess. 'Cause it's all
Oh, well, there's
quarantined.
windows in hospitals for fucking
I
sakes.
don't
Come
know.
on.
None of
Like
them have
nothing?
cameras. You got hundreds
Seems-
of people.
Now,
quarantined, going
I
about
am
their
not in the
phones.
loop of news to know if that even is. Maybe it
Yeah,
all
like,
exists.
where are
I've
the-
not seen
where
that.
are the first-hand stories of these people? Why are they all live streaming? Am I missing this?
My brother died. Nothing.
I haven't seen one yet. That's a pretty surprising thing to me. Yeah, that, you know what? I have not thought about that until this very moment.
So
there you go.
I don't
Story
know.
time.
Like not to.
Wins again.
It's fairly unusual. I don't know. They just say that this is going on, and they have a
That's
map, and they
very
have
surprising in
numbers,
this
and
age,
then
yeah.
people pick that up and they spread that around, and it's doing this, it's doing that, and I don't know. It'd be fairly easy to do if you wanted to perpetrate the occurrence, I think, because I don't know. I don't have a fucking clue, and I don't think anybody else that I know does, other than what they've seen and read, and a story and a
Yeah,
headline.
but you know, I haven't been up on it as much as other people. But yeah, I have not seen one. I have not seen one person who has it and they have a camera at them. Like, what is this? They don't
No, yeah, no
phone, TV,
photos, no
quarantine,
videos, no
people
nothing,
have
no funerals, not a fucking thing coming out of Italy. Like, really? They've shut that country down, apparently. Nobody's emailing out saying, hey, everything's shut down. They're saying that. It's an odd feeling. No, I don't dispute what they're saying. I don't have a clue one way or
neither
another.
do I, but
It's not my-
it
up to
strikes
me to
as
decide.
I don't know. Maybe it's the producer in me saying, wouldn't that be a good angle?
Well, you would
But
think
also
you got a health epidemic going
hundreds of
on, and you're
people,
not
yeah.
showing anybody who is stricken in the health
Also, what about a
epidemic. Where,
first-hand source? It's always like this doctor in a suit is now telling you
well,
this.
especially in this day and age of the Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look at what's happening in my front yard. Look what's going on in my city. Oh my God!
Look what's happening inside
No.
my nose.
No, nothing.
Mucus Town.
All of a
Check
sudden,
it out.
bang! Right? So I don't know. It's just that aspect of it seems unusual to me. And you'd think too that if it is a hoax, that people from in Italy would be texting out. Like, what happened to their phones? Have they shut their phones off? That there's no communication with the
Well,
world,
that's a
where
little game they
even
like to play,
somebody
too.
on on somebody's
Decentralized
Twitter or
networks.
say, hey, I got a cousin in Milan, and they're saying,
Yeah, I think I've seen a few reports. I mean, it's not a huge extent. Yeah, it's strange that that's never recommended. Wow, that's weird. That loop. That loop.
No empty streets. Right? There's same thing with China. They keep telling me that the pollution is gone and it's sunny skies, but I've never seen a photograph. I've only ever seen that satellite picture that one is colored and one isn't. I made that actually for them. But that's all I've ever seen. You'd think that maybe a photographer would have taken a picture in fucking Beijing one smoggy day and then took one today and went, see, look at the difference now. Really? Not one camera in China?
Well, you, like, I don't understand. Like, are you not allowed to film somebody with a runny nose? Like, what is gonna happen?
I'm talking about people dying by the hundreds they're talking about in places. But yet, you wouldn't see them all sitting in the hospital along the rows of beds while they were afflicted with this shit. They're taken this quickly by death, and that's it. There's funerals. Italians, they don't have a funeral, for fuck's sakes. Come on, what's going on? And I'm not mocking it.
I'm surprised I haven't seen it. It's just surprising.
You would think
Yeah,
in this
not
world,
in
my
any way.
God, the stuff I've seen.
If
I've
I
seen
could
nothing.
be any help,
I see no
definitely
evidence
I would
out
be,
of China
if I could.
whatsoever that this is going on
Yeah.
from a health perspective. Shouldn't I? Shouldn't I see that?
Or no?
Wouldn't I? Is it in poor taste or something? Is that what they're coming at it from? Well, we can't show. You're trying to convince me that it's a worldwide fucking threat yet? You're just saying it is.
Well, I hope I get to see pictures of that.
And that'd be good if they are, if they're lying about it. That'd be really good. That it's not going on, but come on, wouldn't you do everything in your power? Look at the pictures you put on my cigarette pack, for fuck's sake, to try to not get me to smoke. You're not going to show me this happening to convince me that it's going on and to be prepared, for fuck's sakes? Why wouldn't you tell the world, show the world?
Well, you know.
Isn't it that supposed to be that important? Huh.
Different stuff is important, I guess.
Well,
They say. Who knows?
that's the way I would approach it if I was in charge of showing the world.
Oh, yeah, that's the picture
If
I
it
want
was
to see.
if you were up against this and they said, "What should we do?" I'd say, "Well,
Show it.
we've got to
all
convince
understand
everybody that this is actually real. Like you have to be aware in today's world that it can be taken the wrong way and say it's a hoax. It can easily get out of control out there in the world. Look what happened to toilet paper, for fuck's sakes. People have shit for brains. Well, not people. Not any of us or anybody in the chat or anybody watching.
Or even anybody with a toilet paper.
Yes,
They just don't know.
You're not
Yeah,
watching,
it's-
though. Huh?
No, they're hip, obviously.
Anyway, I gotta get out of here. Just keep fucking rambling on about
I gotta go
stuff,
get some
for
toilet
fuck's
paper, man. I'm
sakes.
gonna get out of here right now and run.
No,
Get out of here.
no. I think the toilet paper thing, it should be over here soon, quickly. It's
I
too
think it will
easy.
be.
It's
I think
too easy.
It's too nonsense.
Yeah, it's just too easy.
And you're not going to be able to use it fast enough. Like, even if, like, let's say you buy all this stuff and then you get stricken, quarantined tomorrow. Like, okay, so let's just say, like, how long is this stuff supposed to last? Like, you're going to go through how many rolls of this stuff? Like, what do you, like, how, like, what is going to happen? What are they not telling me?
I don't know. I'm not sure how it started. It'd be curious to see why that exploded like it did. If, in fact, yeah, I guess it probably did.
Yeah, what was the start of this? Was it the first thing people were like, oh, this is what we're going to...
Had to have started
How would you
somewhere.
have known?
Why would anybody
Who-
think of it? Go, somebody, what?
One store somewhere? Oh, it's
Or it's
because of the
just the
virus.
natural Like then it was kind of early on in the deal too, right? Where no.
Yeah, this is supposedly nothing. This is supposedly not even. It's just gonna waive, and no matter what, you should expect to be infected. Even if you have it, it may be just the most minor thing ever. So who knows? Better get that toilet paper now. I don't know anything
Well.
about this. I need as much toilet paper as I can get. That's
We're
my first.
we are a curious bunch, but I prefer rolling papers. That's all
Yeah,
I know.
think that's
And
okay.
embassies, actually, which,
Oh yeah.
in fact,
That's
you
the thing.
put 4 of those together.
It's the same thing.
No, cannabis will overcome. Magical plant that humans have had a relationship with a very long time. Since we were primordial ooze, I got a feeling, or the cannabinoid endocannabinoid system. What? Where do you get that from? If you didn't get it from weed. So we go back a ways. Old school, if you will. So, keep smoking, keep healthy, and I'm glad you joined in today. Thanks for doing that as often as you have. And do tune in all week long. There's just action-packed stuff going on with Carly Marley and BC Budgal on Mondays, and Neil's in the house with his usual suspects on Tuesdays. Thursday, not so much.
Still something to watch.
No, there's always something to watch. Friday, Chair in the house with the news and that gang as well. So Saturday, high score. Look for
Final boss.
Alyssa. So anyway, have fun with all that, and we'll see you next time. Until then, I'm Marijuana Man. Peace and pot.